Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and this video is a follow-up to the last video, so if you haven't seen that one, this one is going to make absolutely no sense. It's just going to seem like the rantings of a crazy person. But if you have seen the Emrakul Angel Theory video, then this definitely won't seem like the rantings of a crazy person at all. Now let's get the theories going. So I've been reading comments and Discord messages and everything. And a lot of people know the lore better than me, big surprise there. And a lot of people put two and two together that I didn't in the first video. So this is going to just rapid fire blow your mind. Are you ready? Okay, first, the Eldrazi are naturally drawn towards mana, large amounts of mana, and potentially large usages of mana. So if Bolas's little Elder spell thing is one of the biggest ever cast, they might show up just because he's casting it. And that could be what Jace is referencing in the flavor text on Jace's Triumph, the recently spoiled card, that says, his triumph was not in outsmarting Bolas' plan, but in understanding why ultimate power is self-defeating. Now, if it's like, oh, a large amount of power is going to attract the Eldrazi, especially Emrakul, I don't know if I would phrase it that way. It doesn't quite match up, but it's interesting. Also, the whole vision about the golden disc and the tablet with sigils on it. We're trying to figure out which is which, like which one's the Immortal Sun and what the other one is. A lot of people had some theories, but a lot of people said the one with sigils on it could just be the Guild Pact, which it's like, I think the old one, because like Jace is the new Guild Pact. I think the old one was a giant chunk of stone or a piece of paper or something. Not really my lore specialty. But theoretically, the golden disc could have been the Immortal Sun. I mean, it's not really golden. It's not really a disc, but whatever. Maybe it was in a stone case. I mean, I don't know. It was referred to as like a golden disc multiple times, I'm pretty sure. So the theory is he's going to take that, slap it onto the Guild Pact, and use some kind of weird law magic to start the spell or something. I don't know. Makes about as much sense as anything else. Also, from Nissa's rapid fire visions, the broken clock could be Teferi, the broken shield could be Gideon, and the fizzling torch could be Chandra. I will throw a damn party if Teferi dies. I kind of hope Chandra doesn't die, but she is kind of immature and annoying. And then Gideon, I think we already know about 10 times over he's going to die. It's been hinted at for 2.5 years. And by hinted at, I mean psychic characters in the storyline have said, you are going to die, comma, Gideon, if you would call that hinting at. Also, a really interesting detail is the Immortal Sun itself was made when Azor imbued his Planeswalker spark into the Immortal Sun. That was the only way to build something so powerful. And plus, the spark is related to Planeswalking, and having a spark amplifies your magical abilities, and both of those things are what the Immortal Sun does. So it makes sense that he needed a spark. Well, that means that the Immortal Sun as an object and an artifact is capable of absorbing sparks. I wonder why Bolas needed it. So there's that. But my thinking now is, did Azor put a trap in it? Or can Jace put a trap in it because he kind of knows law magic? You know the movie Speed with Keanu Reeves, where the bus can't go under 50 or it explodes? Maybe someone distracts Bolas, maybe Gideon, I don't know, and they sneak in and put a trap on the Immortal Sun. Maybe Fibblethip does it. I don't know, he likes sneaking around. I mean, I think we all know he's going to save the day. They wrote a whole damn article about him on Daily MTG. But anyway, they can sabotage it where, boom, you get to 50 sparks and the thing self-destructs or teleports the closest dragon to the meditation plane or whatever. Or it explodes and gives everybody their sparks back. The thing is, though, we already know that the spell succeeds, so that's a little far-fetched. Oh, and I totally missed a different theory. Got to back this one up. The golden disc or the big stone thing or whatever, one of them could be the Silex. Somebody suggested that. I thought the Silex was a bowl, really gaudy bowl with ugly artwork on it. Wouldn't be found in my kitchen. But maybe it could take different forms. And plus, last I heard it was broken, and Karn wanted to go repair it or fetch it because it was repaired, one of the two, and then go blow up Phyrexia with it. But, I mean, the Silex can affect multiple planes. It's hyper powerful. It could have something to do with this spell. I mean, it could be one of the two components. It's not that far-fetched. Another theory a couple of people pointed to, the mending happened for a reason. It was the multiverse correcting itself because planeswalkers were too powerful. It was like reality just decided this is too dangerous. Boom, power down. So Nicol Bolas discovered the Elder spell or Elder God spell, I've heard it called both, on Dominaria. Somewhere there was the instructions on how to do this spell. And so he set all this up for like hundreds of years. And the power level will be equivalent to pre-mending. Like, he will have use of way more mana, be immortal, not age. You know, it'll be virtually indistinguishable from how things were before. But the multiverse decided to fix that. It decided that that was too powerful. So, what was that Jay said again? His triumph was not in outsmarting Bolas' plan, but in understanding why ultimate power is self-defeating. Now, that would be the most in line with ultimate power is just self-defeating. It can't happen. You can't have that much power, or something bad will happen. So the universe might just mend Bolas. Hashtag get mended. And doesn't that kind of fit Bolas's personality and arrogance, where he's just like, well, it used to be that way before. I can handle that much power. I deserve that much power. What could go wrong? I don't care. So he casts a spell and he's like, ooh, power, yeah. Hey, what's that sound? It sounds like stomping. Oh, yeah, that's the multiverse's version of Mother Nature. And she's coming at full speed with her steel-toe boots to kick you in the balls. So as soon as he casts a spell, his power level will just force the universe as a natural reaction to, like, open a portal to the meditation plane and then just suck him in there and trap him there. And just, like, put up a planeswalking barrier just naturally. Because remember, we've never figured out what type of plane it is. It's like an abnormal plane. It's, like, not real, but it kind of is. So this could be, like, the universe's oopsie quarantine department. Anything gets too messed up, anything rips up the fabric of space, it ends up there. Maybe. I mean, we don't have any evidence of that, but we also have absolutely no idea what it is or how it was created. We just know that it's old enough that Ugin and Bolas, allegedly two of the first planeswalkers ever in the multiverse, discovered it. So it's very old. It might predate to the creation of the multiverse. So that seems far-fetched, but it exactly matches with the card Jace's Triumph. Like, perfectly. I think it would be, like, ironic but anticlimactic, I guess, if it's just like, oh no, the Gatewatch failed. This is so terrible. What do we do now? And then, the problem just fixed itself. I mean, that's like Deus Ex Machina Universe Edition. Oh, something just showed up and solved all of our problems. What great story writing. But it would be kind of, Bolas' arrogance and he had too much power, kind of like an Icarus thing. He flew too close to the sun and then he died. So also, I still think Emrakul is going to show up, or she's already here. A lot of theories about that. In my epic version of the projected storyline, I forgot one little detail. Ugin taught Nahiri how to build the Hedrons. So I did say, I think Ugin knows something about Hedrons because his grave. No, he knows something about Hedrons because he taught Nahiri how to build them. So that whole thing about how they gotta, be all nice to Nahiri and convince her to use her magic, Ugin's gonna show up. Let's talk to him. I think Jace has talked to Ugin in the past. I don't remember how friendly they are, but I think Ugin could show up and then just be like, we have the same goals. Let's build some Hedrons. Then there's the fact that obviously Emrakul has a link to Nissa in her mind. She's able to communicate with her even if she was on Amonkhet. So she's following the storyline, and she was trying to motivate her to kill Bolas and like, yay, confidence, let's go do it. So would Emrakul be sitting in the moon with nothing better to do and viewing things through Nissa's mind? And she'd be like, oh, this ain't going well. And then she would just show up because she can see what's going on. Well, mega thanks to Karam Serene for the best comment ever. I actually pinned it on the last video. They pointed out that Ulamog is parental. He controls the largest broods, and he acts as the leader and just raw strength consumption. That's why he's the infinite hunger. I think I'm mixing up the name of two cards, but whatever. Kozilek is the experimenter. He observes and manipulates the beings on the plane, and then he picks creation apart and picks the plane apart just to observe it, because he's like Mr. Touch-Everything scientist guy who needs to know how things work. And then Emrakul is the most unusual. I think everybody knows that at this point. She does warp and twist life with her powers. That's just what she does. But she's more of an observer. That's more of her personality. So she's slower, more careful, and she injects herself into the people and the creatures to see the world from their perspective, to learn like what they're about. That's how she studies the plane. And she likes to study and investigate a plane before invading it. So she's not just like, show up, what's up, kick the doors in and hi, I'm Emrakul. So she will influence individual beings, just corrupt individual planeswalkers, spy on planes, observe the plane from a distance herself, or just whatever, and then she'll show up if she decides she should for some reason. So all three of them are very tactical in how they go consume the mana of a plane. I think that's pretty much what they do. And they all do what they do when they show up. Emrakul especially is very tactical about what plane she shows up to and if it's ready or if more whatever living creatures, mana users, planeswalkers, I don't know, if more of them would show up in the future, then they won't touch it yet. So that's apparently their personalities from the lore. So is Emrakul the Wanderer? Well, there's been a lot of debate about, no, Emrakul isn't white aligned. Well, as it turns out, everybody's saying that is just, it's completely baseless. I don't even know why people are saying it. Oh, I've seen one copy of Emrakul and she wasn't white. Okay, well, she is Emeria, and she was the one communicating with the merfolk, allegedly. I mean, it was like, oh, they were completely trapped there, and the stories were that three giant godlike beings were trapped there, and then people made a religion around it, but they weren't actually in contact with her. But there's way more evidence that Emrakul was directly talking to them, because she's talked to other people in the past, especially animists and, I just call them hippies. You know, the merfolk and elf nature-y people. Those tree-hugging hipsters. So let's see, we've got Emeria Angel, which is white. Iona, Shield of Emeria, which is white. Retreat to Emeria, which is white. Lightkeeper of Emeria, guess what color? Don't forget Emeria Shepherd and Emeria the Sky Rune, which are also white. So is the Wanderer Emrakul in disguise? Well, that is physically impossible. But is she a physical manifestation of Emrakul? Was she created by Emrakul? Is she like Emrakul Jr. with a weird psychic link to her? I'd say any of those, maybe. Mysterious, white aligned, never before seen. It lines up power-wise. I mean, her card says prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control, and then exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Nothing about changing living creatures into another form or anything Emrakul-y, but apparently we have a little bit more information. No idea where this came from, but it's on the wiki. She is one of the most efficient and deadly warriors seen on any plane. She has long white hair and hides her face behind a conical hat. Doesn't that mean cone-shaped? It's not. Anyway, she is adept at swordplay and is able to magically absorb kinetic energy and redirect that force through her massive sword. So that's the whole I can't take combat damage thing. Oh wait, non-combat damage. Well, that actually makes even less sense. It should be combat damage. And she's allegedly able to down the largest foes with a single stroke. That's right, she's literally One Punch Man. But that makes sense with her second ability, exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Also, the Wanderer is cursed to make an effort not to planeswalk. Unlike other planeswalkers who are tired from the process of planeswalking, the Wanderer can planeswalk and then planeswalk again almost immediately, but only because if she doesn't focus, she will be pulled at random from plane to plane. Which I've seen in the story that happened to a lot of new planeswalkers. They accidentally tumble between planes, or they just planeswalk without focusing first, or they're injured or whatever, and they end up on 8 different planes. I mean, during one of the Bolas fights, I don't remember who with, I think it was the guy from Kamigawa, I could be wrong. They end up on 20 different planes. In fact, I'm pretty sure that was the fight with Umezawa. And, that was more like cat and mouse, I'm trying to escape whatever, but I know that there was an explosion one time that launched people between 8 different planes. So, yeah, apparently if you're bad at concentrating and new to planeswalking, or just bad at it, or your spark is abnormal, which they're hinting at, like it's an artificial spark, then yeah, planeswalking is hard. So she doesn't want to go on a crazy roller coaster ride of landing between 9 different planes, so she planeswalks as little as possible. So under history, it says how she came to be this way, and if her spark is different from all the others, may be at the heart of her endless journey through the multiverse, and her desire to hide her identity. Whether she seeks a person, place, or thing remains to be seen, but a peaceful resolution to her never-ending quest seems unlikely. She usually disappears quickly after a fight and stays hidden from investigators. So not a dang word of that matches up with her being Emrakul related, so we'll see. Endless journey and nobody knows her goal. I mean, it could be purposely, blatantly misleading. She could have been created in the last year since the events of Shadows, which probably wasn't even a year. Emrakul's stuck in the moon, so she creates an avatar of herself, kind of like I guess Iona, I assume she created Iona, Shield of Meria. I don't know, maybe not. So she creates a hyper-powerful being, this time not an angel. She creates a planeswalker instead. Of course, she's white-aligned because everything Emeria related and Emrakul related is white-aligned, sort of. And then Emrakul just generates her best guess at a spark and gets it 95% correct. I mean, it seems like a stretch, but we don't know that she can't do that. So, is the Wanderer Emrakul? Well, this is the depiction of Emrakul, with the whole I'm the goddess of Emeria thing going on. And this is the Wanderer, just for comparison. So, we've got, okay, hides her face. All right. Then we got, okay, angel, everything's angels with Emrakul. Well, these appear to be feathers. Interesting, more feathers up here, by the way. So that's an odd stylistic choice. And then we've got a cape primarily to one side. I am bad at drawing arrows. Cape primarily to one side. And then we've got a shoulder pauldron right there. Shoulder pauldron. I mean, it's not identical. Like, what is this? She's not wearing it. But, I mean, they can't make it too spot on. So, it is what it is. But then we got the Emrakul tentacles right here. She doesn't have anything resembling tentacles. So, not a perfect match. But, it's enough similarity that you gotta wonder. I mean, you got the white color. You've got the usage of, swords. I mean, she uses 2 hair and she uses 1 hair, but okay. I mean, you wouldn't create 2 creations or 2 representations of yourself that are identical. But I'd say the overall vibe, I mean, just the way she's dressed, like she's wearing armored boots, she's wearing high armored boots. It's close enough that I wouldn't say yes, absolutely confirmed, call it, but it's like, yeah, I could see it. By the way, these are the two other Eldrazi gods. Apparently somebody on Zendikar worshipped them too. I completely missed that in the last video. So a lot of matching up, a lot of contradictions. I wouldn't be surprised if they have some kind of relation, like Emrakul created her a while ago. But it's either that or I don't think it's as direct of a connection, if at all, as everybody's thinking. I mean, I would just lean towards that. I wouldn't be that surprised if they're just like, hi, I'm Emrakul. But I would lean slightly towards no. So, other crazy theories. Becoming that powerful is how you become an Eldrazi Titan. So, Bolas is going to accidentally turn himself into an Eldrazi. And then he won't immediately know how to create an avatar of himself as a physical form. Because remember, the Eldrazi are too powerful to take physical form directly on a plane, so they have to stay in the interplanar space. So maybe that'll be Bolas, and it'll just be kind of stuck, and it'll take them years or whatever to figure out how to make a little Bolas avatar. And then there's the Ur-Dragon. The most powerful being in the multiverse as far as we know. And Bolas is, we'll say, mom. The Ur-Dragon is so big and powerful, its wings, quote, touch everything in the entire multiverse. It reaches from one end of the multiverse to the other and touches all planes. And it births dragons. Its avatar representation is just a huge, like, freaking gigantic dark cloud when it shows up to influence a plane. So basically, if Bolas gets extremely powerful, maybe the Ur-Dragon will be like, I don't want any competition, or this isn't what I intended, show up and just slap the crap out of Bolas. So the Ur-Dragon is too powerful or big or whatever to show up in a plane directly, so we'll just keep going with she. Pretty sure it's a he, but I mean, he lays eggs, so I mean... Anyway, she made a dragon avatar to show up on a plane, and it was this card right here. It was a hyper-powerful, mythic-level legendary dragon that used all 5 colors. That sounds familiar. Niv-Mizzet Reborn. Hey, why did they put dragon avatar on the subtype line? That's interesting. Well, Niv-Mizzet is obviously a child of the Ur-Dragon. All dragons are... at least the Elder Dragons are children of the Ur-Dragon. I'm not sure if all dragons are. I think some dragons can spawn other dragons. Either all dragons come from the Tempest, or whatever, I don't know. But they're suggesting in the storyline that Niv-Mizzet had a backup plan, and it was like a Horcrux level thing, trapped as part of his soul spark something in a little mask, and then brought himself back as a contingency plan. But it really, really looks like the Ur-Dragon had something to do with it. So maybe Niv-Mizzet was in contact with it, or had some kind of link to it. Kind of tapped into the Ur-Dragon's power and then revived itself as an avatar of the Ur-Dragon, while also still, like, being himself. I mean, it's situational. It's hard for him to set that up ahead of time without just absolute precognition. It would be a bit of a stretch, but I mean, if the Ur-Dragon got pissed off and wanted to make an avatar to go fight Bolas, I mean, this is a 5-color dragon avatar. Like, if that's as far as you think about it, yeah, it seems plausible. And, the last thing I think I missed is, you know how I said the broken clock might be Teferi, broken shield might be Gideon, whatever. Right before that they said the fall of a great dragon. That could be toppling his statue. That could maybe not be Niv-Mizzet dying. Depends how literally they meant fall, I guess. Now all we needed from the vision was, and a homunculus comes out of nowhere and saves the day. Guys, Fibblethip's gonna do something in the story. Something significant. We all know this, right? Oh, and there is one more interesting thing, because I didn't read this particular story, but Jonas Sabaresa pointed this out. When Emrakul was talking to Jace in his mind, in, I assume, Eldritch Moon, or the one right before it, one of those two, everything she said was super cryptic, while apparently the two were playing chess. Boy, I gotta go read this. 2 quotes stood out in Jonas's mind. 1, "This is all wrong. I am incomplete, unfulfilled, inchoate." I don't know what that means. "There should be blossoms, not barren resentment. The soil was not receptive. It is not my time, not yet." And also, "I was personified a long time ago. Forces cannot be reasoned with. Agency does not exist in propagating waves. If you take shortcuts to try and grapple with what you cannot perceive, cannot even comprehend, who am I to gainsay? No one. You, perhaps." That is some creator of the Matrix level crap right there. I think they hired the Wachowskis to write that part. So Jonas's take on it was her and the other 2 Eldrazi Titans were not naturally occurring, but they were created through some kind of artificial means, but they're flawed. And Emrakul's not happy that she's flawed. So they have a very specific purpose, but that hasn't occurred yet. Calling it right now, they were created by Urza. So Emrakul is fed up with the state of everything, her own nature, how things are working, how she interacts with planes. She's just not happy. Oh, and also, all 3 of them are trapped on Innistrad for like 1,000 years, so she's exceedingly not happy. So she constantly mentions the flow of time and entropy and the universe and physics and all this other crap. So Jonas thought she could be the embodiment of time itself, like the avatar of time in the universe, like basically Father Time. I could see that, but her parting words were, "They are all my pieces, Jace Beleren. They always were. I just no longer want to play." That was her trying to explain why she didn't just blow Nissa's mind up and warp everybody else involved into a mutant. And why she purposely, didn't give a crap if she got trapped in the moon or not. Because either it's not her time yet and she's fed up with waiting, or her purpose isn't fulfilled yet, or she's not in her perfect form yet so she can't do what she wants to do, or she was created incorrectly in the first place. Something like that. So she's like, fine, I'll just go wait in the moon. Oh, and by the whole pieces and whatever, obviously, between that and the vision that Nissa had later on Amonkhet, she's referring to Nissa, who she was also in communication with. And Tamio, too, I guess. And apparently at the very end of Eldritch Moon, when Jace, Tamio, and Nissa all joined forces to draw a big pretty picture on the moon and trap her there, Emrakul entered Tamio's mind without, I guess, anybody knowing, and forcibly altered the spell, but they don't know what she changed. So she did something to tweak the spell, but as far as they know, it succeeded and she was trapped in the moon. So kind of outlines my theory that she could get out of the moon whenever she wanted. And plus, her, motto is, I can do whatever I want whenever I want, or whatever. Or, I can do anything I want, anything, or whatever she keeps saying. And actually, when she was talking to Jace, the full saying was, I can do anything I want, anything at all. Remember that. The only thing saving you is I don't want anything. So that's the second half of the saying. So, go wait in the moon because she has nothing better to do, tweak the spell so she can escape the moon whenever she wants, and maybe she was created by someone who foresaw the events of Nicol Bolas getting way too much power. And her brothers are basically the Eldrazi police, and they're purposely designed to be big enough to stop it, and they're aggravated at their boring, tedious existence until that point in time. That's probably the most legit theory I've heard for why Emrakul would show up and the nature of her and what she said. And this is the most direct from the storyline theory that I've heard so far. But at the end of the day, I think there's one thing we can all agree on. Within a week or something, when we get the final cards and figure out what's up, or when the book releases or whatever, Emrakul's showing up, okay? Emrakul is going to show up on Ravnica. Like, I'd be shocked if the story has nothing to do with her. That sounds almost impossible. So if you thought that was a wild twist for Eldritch Moon, oh, just wait. So thanks for watching. Thanks for the mad views on probably this video and definitely the last one. I didn't know this many people were like super into the lore. My estimation was about 1 in 10 players give a crap about the storyline. But apparently at this point, I mean, it's ramping up and they've been publicly posting them on the internet instead of making them in, paywalled books. So I guess a lot more of you are into it. And plus, this is the culmination of the story. So a lot of people are like, well, if this is the finale, they're reading up on it. So I would strongly recommend everybody go check out everything from pretty much Shadows onward. Oh, pardon me, Zendikar onward. Yeah, the formation of the Gatewatch. And then definitely follow what happens in this story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.